So in spring of 2020, I decided that I was going to start live streaming on Twitch some of my new crafting adventures. I was just new to mommyhood and was still trying to figure out what pieces of myself I wanted to not sacrifice in the process of becoming a mom. Because as you know, sometimes you have to give up certain things in order to have what you want in this life. And mommyhood does, in fact, come with sacrifice. And I didn't want, to give up a lot of the things that I feel like make me me, but I do need to keep a few other things really at the forefront of my mind when I'm making decisions, irregardless of what they may be, because now it no longer just involves me. So where childless me would have not thought twice about spending hundreds of dollars at Michael's on craft supplies and what have you, new mother me is still looking to maintain the interest in crafting and the hobby because it does bring me joy, and we need to keep the little things that bring us joy in this life. But I cannot afford to have the same expenditures that I once did. So I sat and I looked around and I thought for quite some time, what is it that I can do to hold my interest with a craft and still feel some type of enjoyment without spending what I usually spend? And I kept looking at my recycling bin and saw all these bottle caps from all the water that I was drinking because, of course, as you know, when you're pregnant or breastfeeding, you for sure need to drink your water, and I was not skipping any of it. So I had tons and tons of water bottles, and as you may have seen from some of my other videos, I did in fact end up returning them to get the 5-cent redemption back, but I kept all of the bottle caps, and I kept the bottle caps with this idea of making these giant perler crafts. And I really thought long and hard about what pattern I was going to do first, because there were a few different Mario options that I had in my head that I thought would have worked out really well. But I decided to kind of sort of keep with the Pokemon theme since I was really playing a lot of Pokemon Go during that time period. So I figured, hey, this is a really easy one because I have red, I have white, and I have black paint. And that's where this all came from. And I, obviously made the pink background with mixing the red and the white together. But this was really an episode in how to work with what you've got and how to make something out of nothing, because really what else can you do sometimes when life hands you situations like this? Now, when I tell you I spent hours live streaming this, I truly mean it. I would stay awake almost all night and do whatever I needed to do, whether it was painting the insides of the bottle caps or arranging them like this to see the pattern coming to life. And then ultimately, I ended up puncturing holes through the sides of these and chain linking them together with jump rings. The jump rings actually ended up being my only expense with this craft, which was kind of cool because that has literally never happened to me before in my entire history of crafting. But then again, I've never really had to pay attention to my budget in the same way that I do now that I am a mom, because I've always just been able to get out there and believe that I can, and I do because I can. I used to be the girl who would go to the bead expos and spend hundreds of dollars, but life has thrown me a different direction to go, and I guess that's the way that we are going to head. But I ended up chain linking all of this together and then ended up using it as a doormat and then a wall hanging for quite some time, until I ultimately became so frustrated and had this total heated artistic moment where I felt so defeated in the things that I was doing, and the fact that this craft had not lasted the test of time like I had initially hoped that it would, that I threw it out. Because, you know, hindsight is in fact 2020, and this was a lot of work and effort to put in to not go ahead and then use something as simple as an acrylic sealer on the back of this to make sure that the paint would have stayed in place. But it was definitely still a fun craft to do, and I definitely am going to be making another one of these. As far as whether I will stream it on Twitch again, I'm not sure. I think I would like to, but this craft itself was almost 60 hours worth of stream time to complete, and I just kind of feel like I don't pay as much attention to the stream as I should when I am crafting and streaming, but I don't really know what people expect other than to watch a crafter in the wild when someone is streaming a craft project on Twitch. But maybe I'll try again and see if I can get something going that makes me feel like I'm not only being attentive to my crafts, but attentive to my fans and followers who are tuning in to watch. So, until next time.